enthusiasm level in Michigan that he was seeing. And, you know, it's such a contrast coming out of July and when we were in Wisconsin doing those focus groups and the energy right after Kamala Harris was the nominee.
So what's
it
changed? Really
coupled with, you know, the Trump energy. And now I think that Democrats have done a great job on abortion, making it about basic human rights for women.
It's
but
tangible.
Then they're failing. You look at cultural issues. You look at how the Trump campaign shifted their ads from an economic focus to an anti-trans ad that they run during football games in Wisconsin,
which
Michigan,
is a lie.
everywhere. And you look at how the numbers simply have changed. There's no reason that Tammy Baldwin should be down, her numbers should be dropping in Wisconsin. She's a very popular senator who has done good things in the state, and she's running against an outsider from Orange County.
Right.
The trans ad has had impact.
And you're hearing that from the canvas.
Yes.
And they've run that. We talked about this earlier. They've run that 30,000 times during football games. It's having an impact. The campaign is blind to it. They just are blind to it. I don't know if they think they're too good to respond to an ad, but it's not showing up. But you're hearing
I spoke to a Wisconsin operative who knows the state well, who was surprised at how many days it has taken there to be any kind of response to that ad. And that ad is hitting a cultural pressure point with men, with black men, with Hispanic men, with men who really, the Trump campaign, it's been their strategy all along to get those men.
Well, and that's been the Trump policy.
The
transgender surgeries for prisoners is Trump policy.
That's the crazy thing is that's the Trump policy. We had Rick Wilson with the Lincoln Project on because they actually, unlike the Democrats, they actually ran an ad on this that's chasing off a lot of black men, Hispanic men, white working class men in Wisconsin, in Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and how they're not picking that up with their canvassing and how they're not picking that up in their numbers is beyond me. Here's the Lincoln Project ad that actually sets the record straight.
Have you seen this ad? Donald Trump is spending millions attacking Kamala Harris on a desperate lie. Taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens is a Trump administration policy. He's attacking Kamala Harris for his own record, and he thinks you're too dumb to get it. He's gaslighting America because Trump is for he, him. Kamala is for us.
Now, that's something, if they had been running alongside of the 30,000 misleading ads that lie about Kamala Harris when it's actually a Donald Trump policy pushed by Donald Trump's director of Bureau of Prisons, pushed by the Justice Department, spelling out the policy about gender-affirming care for inmates from the Trump era, then, this would have been answered, and people canvassing wouldn't be hearing this over and over again. And, Rev, I have Donnie answer, but then I'd love you to follow up and say, this is an issue with black men. This is an issue with Hispanic men. This is an issue with working class men. Is this Michael Dukakis mowing his lawn in the summer of '88 and just completely blind to a cultural issue because some people in the campaign are just so liberal?
No, look, they didn't respond.
No.
And as your point is, this is a Trump policy, and it's 1 out of 330 million people that this example.
1 out of 330 million people.
Yeah. It's a sign that, do you think the world's upside down? It may not be about this, but do you think the world's upside down?
By the way, with the way Bill Maher put it this past weekend, he said, this is a great ad because it challenges Kamala Harris to say, yes, there are some crazy things that my base want me to do that I will not do. Yeah. But again, the crazy thing is, this isn't a Harris policy. It is a Trump policy. So that gives you a chance to say, you say I'm liberal?
Right.
Donald Trump had his Justice Department support gender-affirming care for inmates, and he wanted you to pay for it.
Yeah, no counterpunching. But there are very few issues that I mentioned the word 330 million, that 330 million would agree on. And I think that one of them is that we should not be paying for gender trans surgery for prisoners. I think it's a pretty universal thing that, wait a second, somebody broke the law and we're paying for this. I don't care whether you're liberal or conservative. I don't think most people think that's a good thing. And if you don't counterpunch that, you get blanketed with the whole thing.
And I think that's where the counterpunch becomes absolutely mandatory, because when you don't address it, then you become guilty because you didn't address it.
Right.
And if you have this elitist attitude, well, people won't believe that. That's nonsense. People on the ground will believe what they see over and over again as a commercial in a football game. And people are concerned about that. Whether you are on one side of the issue or not, you have a softball up the middle. Trump did that. I didn't. Trump is the one that dealt with this affirming in terms of this gender question. So make him the liar and identify him with his policy. You get stuck with it because you didn't respond. And by not responding, you affirm him.
Yeah, he who does not deny admits,
right,
goes the old saying.
All right, Donnie Deutsch, thank you so much. Gene Robinson, thank you as well. We're going to be
Before we go, can I comment that Gene Robinson in the turtleneck
yes,
is just so on point?
I mean,
so on point.
Nice.
Thank you, Donnie.
Okay, you can do that. That seems like, all right.
It's certainly a lot
We're going to be
better
reading
than
your
Pablo's.
piece,
Than Pablo's.
Gene. Well, Pablo can wear that.
No, not
You
really.
cannot.
No, I would never wear that.
I've seen you wear something like that. It's just too bulky. You can't do it.
I'd never do that. Why don't you tell me
Pablo
not
could
to
do
wear
it.
a baby blue leisure suit with a silk shirt?
I found one. I saw you in it. It was a while ago. It
You
didn't
never
work.
did. We're going to be reading Gene's piece in the Washington Post. And still ahead on Morning Joe, the top Democrat on the House Oversight